Hintenklang, where written words find their voice. The Frog King, or Iron Henry. In olden times, when wishing still helped, there lived a king whose daughters were all beautiful, but the youngest was so beautiful that the sun himself, though he had seen so much, marveled whenever he shone upon her face. Near the king's castle lay a great dark forest, and in the forest, under an old linden tree, was a well. When the day was very hot, the king's child would go out into the forest and sit down beside the cool well. And when she grew bored, she would take a golden ball, throw it up, and catch it again, and that was her favorite plaything. Now it happened one day that the golden ball of the king's daughter did not fall into her little hand, which she held up, but went past and struck the ground and rolled straight into the water. The king's daughter followed it with her eyes, but the ball vanished, and the well was deep, so deep that you could see no bottom. Then she began to weep, and wept louder and louder, and could not be comforted at all. And as she was lamenting so, someone called to her,
"What is the matter, king's daughter? You weep so that a stone might take pity on you."
She looked around to see where the voice was coming from, and there she beheld a frog, who was stretching his thick, ugly head out of the water.
"Oh, it's you, you old water splasher,"
she said.
"I am weeping over my golden ball that has fallen into the well."
"Be quiet and do not weep,"
answered the frog.
"I can surely help. But what will you give me if I fetch your plaything back up?"
"Whatever you want, dear frog,"
she said.
"My clothes, my pearls and jewels, and even the golden crown that I wear."
The frog answered,
"Your clothes, your pearls and jewels, and your golden crown, those I do not want. But if you will love me, and I shall be your companion and playfellow, sit beside you at your little table, eat from your little golden plate, drink from your little cup, sleep in your little bed. If you promise me that, I will go down and bring the golden ball back up to you."
"Oh, yes,"
she said.
"I promise you everything you want, if only you bring the ball back to me."
But she thought to herself,
"Nonsense, the simple frog chatters! He sits in the water among his own kind and croaks, and he can be no companion to a human."
The frog, when he had received the promise, ducked his head under, sank down, and after a little while came swimming up again. He had the ball in his mouth and threw it onto the grass. The king's daughter was full of joy when she saw her beautiful plaything again, picked it up, and sprang away with it.
"Wait, wait!"
cried the frog.
"Take me with you. I cannot run as fast as you."
But what good did it do him that he croaked his croak after her as loud as he could? She paid no heed, hurried home, and soon forgot the poor frog, who had to climb back down into his well. The next day, when she sat down to the table with the king and all the courtiers, and was eating from her little golden plate, there came splish splash, splish splash, something creeping up the marble staircase, and when it reached the top, it knocked at the door and cried,
"King's daughter, youngest, open the door for me."
She ran to see who might be outside, but when she opened the door, there sat the frog before her. She hastily slammed the door shut, sat down again at the table, and was very frightened. The king could see that her heart was beating violently and said,
"My child, why are you afraid? Is there perhaps a giant standing at the door, wanting to carry you off?"
"Oh, no,"
she answered.
"It is no giant, but a nasty frog."
What does the frog want from you?
Oh, dear father, yesterday when I was sitting by the well in the forest playing, my golden ball fell into the water. And because I wept so, the frog fetched it up again, and because he absolutely demanded it, I promised him he should be my companion. I never thought, however, that he could get out of his water. Now he is outside and wants to come in to me.
In the meantime, there came a second knock, and it cried,
King's daughter, youngest, open to me. Know you not what yesterday you said to me by the cool well water? King's daughter, youngest, open to me.
Then the king said,
What you have promised, you must keep. Go and let him in.
She went and opened the door, and the frog hopped in, always at her heels, up to her chair. There he sat and called,
Lift me up to you.
She hesitated until the king commanded it at last. When the frog was on the chair, he wanted onto the table, and when he sat there, he said,
Now push your little golden plate nearer to me, so we can eat together.
She did that, indeed, but you could see she did not do it gladly. The frog enjoyed his meal, but almost every bit stuck in her throat. At last he said,
I have eaten my fill and am tired. Now carry me into your little chamber and make your little silken bed ready. There we will lie down to sleep.
The king's daughter began to weep and was afraid of the cold frog, whom she did not dare touch, and who was now to sleep in her beautiful, clean little bed. The king, however, grew angry and said,
He who helped you when you were in need, you must not despise afterwards.
So she seized him with 2 fingers, carried him upstairs, and set him in a corner. But when she lay in bed, he came creeping and said,
I am tired. I want to sleep as well as you. Lift me up, or I will tell your father.
Then, for the first time, she became bitterly angry, fetched him up, and threw him with all her might against the wall.
Now you will have peace, you nasty frog!
When he fell down, however, he was not a frog, but a king's son, with beautiful, kind eyes. And now, by her father's will, he became her dear companion and husband. Then he told her that he had been enchanted by a wicked witch, and no one could have freed him from the well but her alone, and tomorrow they would go together to his kingdom. Then they fell asleep, and the next morning, when the sun woke them, a carriage came driving up, drawn by 8 white horses that had white ostrich feathers on their heads and went in golden chains, and behind stood the servant of the young king, who was Faithful Heinrich. Faithful Heinrich had been so grief-stricken when his master was transformed into a frog that he had 3 iron bands placed around his heart to keep it from bursting with pain and sorrow. The carriage, however, was to take the young king to his kingdom. Faithful Heinrich lifted them both in, took his place again at the back, and was full of joy over the deliverance. And when they had driven a little way, the king's son heard a crack behind him, as if something had broken. He turned around and called out,
Heinrich, the carriage breaks.
No, master, not the carriage. It is a band from my heart that lay there in great pain when you sat in the well, when you were a frog.
Yet once more, and again it cracked along the way, and the king's son always thought the carriage was breaking, but it was only the bands springing from Faithful Heinrich's heart, because his master was freed and happy. That was Tintenklang. Which story would you like to hear as an audiobook next? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this tale, subscribe to the channel. Plenty more are waiting for you. Until next time.